Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29, back again doing graphic novels I have recently read through. And going in order, from left to right, these are some of the graphic novels or trade paperbacks that I have recently caught up with. Even though it has taken me a while since my last video came up, I hope you enjoy this particular video. I will, of course, give a rating for the graphic novels, including the art and story. So starting off with First Things First that I read through, Mind Management 303 through Matt Kindt. I must admit, this ending for Mind Management, volume 3 of 3, was really interesting, and I sort of like how it ended, as we got to meet some more around the main two characters that were in the first two volumes, and it just built up around the world of the characters, and through that we also got to find out other people who had different types of abilities, including someone who had immortality and was also killed off by someone, but I'm not going to say by who. So for this, I give it a rating of 8 out of 10 for the story. For the art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Moving into the next thing, the Jetsons. Given that this has taken sort of like a little bit more forward to the future, to which it's probably about 10 years set from where the Jetsons is normally taken, I did actually like the story, and also the writer that was on it, Jimmy Palmiotti. He knows what he's doing. I like the cover art as well as the art inside, to which I give the story probably a 7.5 out of 10. And the art an 8 out of 10, because it was actually pretty consistent in some places. Moving into the next one, Snagglepuss. Of course, done by Mark Russell. Some people like him, some people hate him. Hey, that's life. But what did I think of it? Well, apart from liking the art in the story, it's a different twist to the character. And it's in no way canon to the character's original origin. So looking at it in a story in its own world, with its own origins, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10, along with the art. Okay. Batman Allies, Alfred Pennyworth. Oh my goodness. I really enjoyed this. It had various writers in it, as well as quite a number of stories around the main character of Alfred Pennyworth. This thing's a 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed what was put there. Including the art, including some of the stories. Of course, you got some of the older stories around Alfred, as well as some of the present-day stories around the character of Alfred. Do take note that this did come out before Alfred Pennyworth's death through DC Rebirth, but for what it was quite enjoyable. Moving into the next thing that I ended up reading through, The Death of Superman, with Dan Jurgens and many other writers as well. And my goodness, I can understand why this was so impactful. From the first volume all the way up to the last. And my goodness, the first works around the death of Superman, to which he encounters the character of Doomsday. I won't give any more than that. The second, we know, links to the funeral around Superman. Then we move to the third, where we've got the reign of the Supermen. And what I'll do is I'll give a rating for both story and art, just in each individual volume of what I thought of each volume. Of course, we've got the return of Superman, and last but not least, Doomsday. My goodness, this was really a big story to read through. And I enjoyed sitting in some of my spare time here at home, just to read through this story and to understand its impact, not only in the comic industry, but also its impact to its readers. And I'm glad I got it in trade paperback, because if I were to try to pick up this thing in comic form, I'd probably have a bit of difficulty in getting each and every issue in connection to it. And I'd probably get lost along the way and end up getting probably double issues somewhere along the way too. At least with it done this way, it made it so much easier to read through the first part, the second part, the third, all the way to the fifth, to which Doomsday gets a bit of a whooping of his own. So, starting off with the first volume, the one which leads off to the death, I give it a 7.5 out of 10, or 7.5 out of 10. Second volume, 7.5 out of 10. In regards to art, I'd probably give it a 7. Moving into the reign of the Supermen, to which we also get some of the introductory of some new characters. Of course, we've got Cyborg Superman, plus many others, Steel, and even Superboy. I think it had a lot of effort, because they were trying to bring in characters to fill in the gap of Superman who was presently missing, but it also allowed a bit of breathing space that there's a mysterious super figure going around as well, which they don't know who it is, and they're still doing like Superman type of things, but not realizing it is actually Superman. So for that, a 8 out of 10. When it comes to the big return of Superman, 9 out of 10. For the art, probably an 8 out of 10. Same for the art below that. And of course, last but not least, moving into Superman up against Doomsday himself, and the way that they handled Superman's character going up against Doomsday, I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10. Do take note, there is a lot to consume in what you're reading in relation to all of these volumes, because it does take a while to actually read through it. But once you've read through it all, it's worth it. For the end, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. And the art, an 8 out of 10. Moving into the next thing, Mystical Boy Scout, something I've had and read through quite a while ago, but I don't think I've covered it in a video before. It's meant to be a bit of a queer story, but you may not like it. I was a bit half with this, and I mean very half. So the highest I'd give this story, both with art and story alone, is probably a 5 out of 10. You might pick it up and you might say, oh, this story is great, you shouldn't have given it such a low score. So be it. Shite happens. So 5 out of 10 for both story and art. Now, this is something of Scotty Young and Jorge Coronas that I really liked. And that is Middle West. And my goodness. Yes, it's a story that addresses the issues of abuse, but it also addresses how the character tries to overcome his issues as well. And from the first to last volume, and I must admit, I did end up reviewing a couple of issues of this on the website, just on the website itself on Rainbow Press and Comics. Not so. I think I might have even covered an issue or two on the channel. I might be wrong about that. And after rereading it, for the first volume, 8 out of 10. Second volume, 8 out of 10. And that goes with the art as well, because I really think the art works with the story. And the last volume, 8.5 out of 10. Well, until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day. And please share what graphic novels that you have been reading in the comments. Who knows? You might mention a title that I might want to ask you some questions about. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.